The Canon EOS R1 was announced on July the 17th, giving professional sports photographers an unmatched autofocus system designed for sports like basketball. But there was something missing. There was no lens announcement. But fear not, Canon finally has a few lenses planned to accompany the R1 in November, and both lenses will be a huge hit with sports, fast action, nature, wedding, and event photographers. But before we get to the details, please subscribe to this channel. It doesn't cost you anything, helps this channel grow, and keeps you up to date on the latest camera coverage. And when Canon announced the R1, I said don't be surprised if they start shipping with a few new lenses, because we were expecting several big announcements that didn't happen, well, haven't happened yet. And one of those is the long-rumored RF 200 to 500mm f4. And when Canon announced the R1 on July the 17th, I said don't be surprised if Canon announces the RF 200 to 500mm f4 shipping in November in time for the R1. And of course I've said this many times, including last month, and it looks like Canon Rumors now agrees with me. The long-rumored RF 200 to 500mm f4 L image stabilized USM has been tipped to be announced in November by various people. We actually know someone that has their hands on it. They won't give us the dirty details, obviously, but we hope they will give us something in the near future. So, while Canon Rumors is agreeing with us in terms of having a November announcement for the RF 200 to 500, unlike us, well, they're not calling for a quick shipping date. We don't think that it's going to have a quick shipping date after the announcement. And as a photographer, a professional photographer, getting access to a lens like the 200 to 500mm with an f4, while not good for indoors, for outdoors, this is going to be a very, very popular lens amongst, well, sports and fast action photographers, nature photographers, wildlife photographers, and even journalists. I think this is going to be I think it will be as popular, if not more popular, than the 100 to 300mm. You see, that lens is designed primarily for indoor sporting events where you're dealing with low light situations, especially if you're shooting high school and college where you don't have the same degree of lighting that you do at the Olympics. But there is one thing that we've been kind of told or hinted at that would be coming along with the 200 to 500mm, and that's that internal zoom teleconverter. We don't believe that it's going to have a built-in teleconverter, and there is a new teleconverter coming. Canon would really love to get your money that way instead, so don't be surprised. And this new type of teleconverter, well, it's supposed to have several options. A 1x, obviously, a 1.4 or 1.5 times, and a 2x teleconverter. I mean, imagine having your 100 to 500, your 100 to 300, or even the 200 to 500, the 200 to 800mm, and having a teleconverter where you can leave it on one time so you're out shooting, you don't have any loss of sharpness or anything like that, and you're shooting with the best possible sharpness you can get. But there's a certain shot that you just wish you could have put that teleconverter on, and you know that by the time you change it out, the opportunity is going to be missed. But to have an external teleconverter that you can mount on and then quickly just flick a switch and change to 1.4, 1.5, or 2x, that's a really big deal. And Craig told us about this in May of 2023, having a teleconverter that's always there, giving you the reach you need when needed. That's powerful, and November's shaping up to be a powerful month. The Canon RF 70 to 200mm f2.8L image stabilized USM-Z is also slated for a November announcement. And maybe you'll recall last year on November the 2nd, Canon made another big lens announcement, giving us 3 lenses. The RFS 10 to 18mm for the APS-C cameras such as the R7, the R10, the R50, and the R100. We also got the RF 200 to 800mm f6.3 to 9 that's been on Canon's short supply list up until recently. And we got our very first Z lens, the RF 24 to 105 f2.8 image stabilized USM-Z. And while Canon could announce both of these lenses at the same time, the 200 to 500 millimeter, the 70 to 200, or even that teleconverter and maybe even something else, Canon rumors thinks that that 70 to 200 millimeter will actually ship ahead of the Canon EOS R1, which is scheduled to start shipping on November the 26th. And I know what you're thinking, the 70 to 200 millimeter has seen some rather interesting stories come out talking about this lens and when it's going to be coming out this year, next year, whether it's real or not, whether it's going to get the white paint treatment or the black paint treatment. Well, the thing is, this lens has been spotted with both paint treatments. Now, we don't know if there's two variants of this lens or if Canon well, I don't recall them ever doing this with any other lens, but offering two paint treatments. Now, what would make sense to me is because we've already got the 70 to 200 millimeter on the market, the f2.8, which is on sale right now. I'll show you the sale information in just a little bit. To have that lens, and then two Z lenses, one getting the white paint treatment and the black paint treatment, that does seem a little bit strange. Now, what I'm wondering, and let me know what you think, could Canon potentially retire the 70 to 200 millimeter f2.8 and offer a replacement for that and give us a black paint treatment, but both of these being Z lenses? Because having three of them would seem to be a bit of an overcrowding in my view. Interesting. And that non-Z version that I was talking about is on sale at $300 off. And one of my favorites, the RF 100 to 500 millimeters, is also on sale at $200 off, but I've seen this go on sale before at up to $500 off, so your best price for this lens you can probably expect coming up on Black Friday. And that RF 100 to 300 millimeter that we're talking about, the f2.8, it's still stubbornly stuck at $94.99. And I couldn't even find any used versions of this lens. But if you're looking at pre-ordering these lenses once we have that pre-order information from Canon, or looking at purchasing any of the lenses that I talked about, or any other cameras that are on sale by Canon and Nikon, because there is a huge amount, and even Sony has jumped in by offering sales on their cameras. There's so many things on sale. I've got them in the description down below. It would probably take me 5 minutes to go over everything. But if you do use any of my links, just know that I could get a small commission or feedback. But the good news is you get a great deal on a camera or a lens. It doesn't cost you anything extra. You don't have to jump through hoops, fill in any forms, or punch in any codes. By purchasing your favorite lens or camera body, you get a great deal and you get to support this channel without having to take any money out of your pocket. I mean, it's the best of both worlds. And a big thanks to all of you that have used my affiliate links and my pre-order links in the past. Honestly, I'm not so sure this channel would be here without your support. It takes an awful lot of effort to put this channel together on top of a day job. And lately I've been suffering from, it seems like my back has regressed and I can't get comfortable whether I sit, lay, or walk. It's frustrating. But this is not about me. I just want to say a special thanks to you for supporting this channel. And even if you're not buying anything, or if you're buying from your local camera store, or if you're in Europe and you can't purchase through B&H or Adorama, well, thank you for watching, thank you for commenting, and thank you for sticking around to the very end of this video. Have yourself a great day, a great week, and we'll see you again soon.